We almost missed the start of the show just because we keep talking, and by talking we mean we're all calling out Mike as how that goes, Jedediah or Chili Man. What's
I'm used
going
to it.
on? Yeah, what is going on, everybody? My name is Ed Rivera. Obviously, I am your humble host, and with me I have a plethora of co-hosts as last week. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be fun. So we'll see how this night goes. But I'm going to start with what I have here on my screen. First, the mayor. How are you today, Mr. Donnie Wise?
I am doing good in rainy Ohio. We had 2 inches of snow on the ground at 5:30, and then it was all gone and melted at 7:30 from the rain. So I am ready to get out of here tomorrow, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the snow that is coming in all day tomorrow will not keep me grounded.
All right. So, but what hat are you wearing? What are you drinking or eating or whatever it is, my friend?
So got a lot of things going on here. So as
Yeah.
I showed you guys beforehand, Dippin' Dots, when you pick it up and get to the hotel 5 minutes later, it starts getting to mush. You throw it in the freezer, and now it's just regular ice cream. Once I finish that, I'm going with a Cookie Exchange Milk Stout from Great Lakes Brewing. So nice dark beer.
What?
And then the hat, I actually picked this up from Cleveland Clothing Company the other night when I went to the game.
Ooh, CLE clothing?
Yeah, it's a Guardians hat with the Guardian head and a G on it. So it's kind of like a whole, non-team branded, but cool looking Cleveland Guardians style hat. And it's got this leather strap on the back
Hey, let me ask you something.
and the
When you were
Cleveland
in the-
Clothing flag.
When you were at the store,
So-
by chance did you call your good friend, fellow co-host?
I thought that'd be a little bit, a little bit of a unique style Guardians hat.
So let me ask you this, since now you can hear me because you have your headphones on. But when you were in Cleveland and you were looking at that wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous hat, did you call Ed and ask him if he was interested in that beautiful dad hat like that you're wearing right now? Just wanted to make sure that you.
I didn't. I did make that mistake. So
You probably assumed you had it already.
No, he assumed wrong.
No, I wouldn't have assumed that. I just was running behind getting to the restaurant, and
the game, right?
And
Would
the
you
game.
not think Ed has very many dad hats? Is that why you wouldn't assume that?
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough.
Let's ask the CFO that.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not. Anyways, moving on to our next co-host. It is the prospector himself, Mr. Patrick Larson, wearing some wonderful gear today. How are you today, my friend? Obviously, I'm going to ask you what you're wearing and what you're drinking. We all know what you're drinking, but let's just see it.
Oh, I don't know, because no one ever knows what I'm drinking. But wearing some Blue Jay stuff tonight. Obviously, the hoodie here that you can see. And
Absolutely.
then I've got a custom hat from Hat Club with this tee. It's obviously a custom hat, never worn on field, but it was like I think the story was like it was an experimental tee that they thought about using at one point way back in the day. And so Hat Club came out with a version of it, and I was able to get it on sale. So thank you, Hat Club. And
thank you, Hat Club, for taking my money.
That's right. So that was a couple years ago, but just repping the Blue Jays tonight. And then to everyone's surprise, the Gatorade Zero is back. So
there you go.
So tried and true. So happy to be on with so many influencers and chili men and mayors and cleanup kings and dad hat connoisseurs. So
thank you.
Happy to be on with such celebrities, and thanks for letting a way below average person like myself join you guys.
Well, you know what? We do what we can, right?
We're like the round table. We gotta start picking king names.
Yeah.
There you go. So I just changed mine.
Get your charity case for the week. How about that?
There it is. All right, moving on to Mr. Jedediah himself. He's not Chili Man. He is Jedediah the Chili Man.
The next defensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He can't even get.
That's supposed to be a secret, Patrick. We haven't announced it yet.
Sorry, I have a big mouth.
What is going on, Mike? Man, what are you wearing? And are you drinking anything tonight, my friend?
Oh yeah, I'm drinking some whiskey and Mountain Dew from the homemade Georgia mug that my friend got me for Christmas, and she made herself.
Whiskey and Mountain Dew, huh?
It's the only way to drink.
Okay, all right.
There.
And
I was going to say
we've
something
got-
stupid, but I'm going to keep it to myself. Go ahead, continue on.
for it
Hope
later.
it's what I was thinking. Go Dukes.
Wearing a Cincinnati Conies t-shirt, alternate
Nice.
identity of the minor league Cincinnati Cyclones for hockey.
That's a great logo.
Oh, I love it. So Cincinnati too, and it's cool. I had to get the shirt last time I was there, and finally, somewhat matches color-wise. I got my Myrtle Beach Pelicans hat on.
Lobo.
What's up, Flobo? I got to give you a shout out. What's up, my man? That's my boy right there. All right, Mike. That's a lot of stuff that you're wearing. I just want you to know, but I do enjoy that t-shirt. That's a wonderful t-shirt. I like it. I don't know about the mug and what's on the mug, but I'll go ahead and let that go.
Any drink would taste good in this mug.
Mike, have you been hanging out with Amish people in your part of the world? Yes, he has. He's accepted the religion of Amish. All right, and then last but not least, our good friend, the influencer himself. I hear that he has a crowd watching him tonight, so we got to make sure that we all tell him that tell the family that he is an influence. He's trying to influence me into getting a Mississippi Braves dad hat right now. So, what is up, Mr. Eric Prophet?
What's up, fellas? How are you tonight?
You're supposed to say hi, guys. I mean, that's how that goes.
I'm good. Honored to be on a big screen that the influencer set up.
That's right, Patrick. I like your Tulsa Drillers hat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh man,
Appreciate that.
For me tonight, it's back to the water again. Trying to stay hydrated, and then I have the Port Charlotte Stone Crabs batting practice hat.
That's such a nice looking hat, man.
It is.
All right, boys. Well, hey, listen, the NFL season, regular season, it has come to an end. There were some exciting games, some disappointing games, some heartbreakers.
Amen.
And let me tell you, it was interesting, right? But I'll start by saying that Mr. Influencer himself won by one game.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Say that again.
Mr. Influencer, Mr. Eric Prophet won the pick'ems for last week.
That's right.
By one. I came in second.
It's okay.
All right, boys. Which is okay. It's okay. Listen, they're giving me balloons. I don't know how this is going.
Celebrating yourself, Ed, even though you got.
I'm celebrating myself, okay? I am celebrating myself.
I thought the only thing that mattered in the standings was the national championship pick.
What matters is that the Jacksonville Jaguars are not in it.
That was all part of their plan. They didn't want to make it this year.
Oh, they did a performance of a lifetime, the choke job of the century. And we will not talk about the other two teams that are not in the playoffs because out of due respect, right? Out of due respect. But I will go around and I want to ask you guys and also the people on the chat. I want to know. First of all, what's up, Mr. Professor Hatter? How you doing today in the Chicago area? You must be freezing. I saw a picture of you on Instagram earlier today, my friend. You look like you were having some fun shoveling some snow.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then Phil, RIP the Mississippi Braves. Greenville, South Carolina sympathizes with you all. And so does Kinston, and so does other cities around the United States that lost their teams. But I want to know from you guys, and then I'll ask this question: your biggest surprise of the weekend, okay? And then I am going to start with Eric because obviously his team made the playoffs. But I want to know, Eric, what was your surprise of the weekend as far as the games is concerned?
Well, with San Francisco and the Rams, they didn't have a whole lot to play for. And then Seattle, they were trying to play. I think both of those games ended up with the Rams and the Seahawks both won, I think 21-20. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was kind of interesting that both of them, because I think if I remember seeing it right, that both teams went for 2 right there at the end of the game. And Seattle got it. They scored. Tyler Lockett scored a touchdown late in the game and then went with the 2-point conversion and converted that. But then San Francisco, I think, did the same thing, or maybe it was the Rams that did the same thing, ended up beating them. Puka Nacua had a big game, broke the rookie record. So it's kind of cool to see him play, even though they were already in, didn't have a lot to play for.
That's true. Sorry. By the way, Phil calls me out. It's not you all, Ed, is y'all. You live in the South now. It's time to start speaking the language. Today I was told by someone who lives in Texas that North Carolina is not in the South. So there goes that. So,
Well,
good
they're
for
wrong.
Puka Nakua, right? Like, I mean, dude got his record, and then you could see there was a video of the head coach was like, as soon as he got it, he goes, "Get him out, like right now." They're like, we can't afford him to get hurt because that matchup is gonna be awesome in Detroit.
Well,
Yeah.
but then Sam Laporta got hurt for Detroit, and everybody's like, "Why would you be playing him?" They didn't. There's like almost a 0% chance they would have got the 2 seed, so there's no reason for him to play. And now he's probably not going to play this weekend, so everybody's kind of wondering. And then TJ Watt got hurt too,
and he's out. He's officially out of the playoffs. So,
and the way that TJ Watt got hurt, though, I mean, just his own player falling into him like that. I mean,
it was a freak. Yeah, it was a freak accident.
I mean,
That's just how that goes.
You hate to see that. I mean, a man that, what do you have again? 19 sacks this season, and he's only the second player in history to have two seasons with at least 19 sacks. The other one being his brother, JJ Watt.
But that weather was awful,
terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Actually, Patrick, I'm going to continue with you. As you know, give me your surprise of the weekend, right? As far as the NFL is concerned, what surprised you the most?
How ill prepared the Eagles were to play. I mean, like playing the New York Giants, and you're trying to win a division, and you get manhandled by the New York Football Giants. And I mean, and it wasn't close. I mean, there was like a garbage touchdown in the fourth quarter, but I mean, before that, I mean, they did nothing. I mean, it was really embarrassing. It was really embarrassing for a team that started out, what were they, 10-1 or whatever it was, and then they've lost 3 of their last 4, or 4 of the last 5, whatever it is, and 4 of the last 5, and they just didn't look like they were ready to play. They had a week to prepare. It looked like the Giants were the team that had something to play for, and not the Eagles. So you can argue that it wasn't going to make a difference because the Cowboys beat the Commanders anyway, but there was a point where the Cowboys were losing to the Commanders. So you would have thought that would have motivated the team to try to at least do their part and win to give themselves a chance to win. But I mean, didn't
Jalen Hurts get hurt as well in this game?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
but still, like, I mean, for Pride as a team, it's next man up, and
they just didn't look prepared.
No. Well, and if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be very concerned going into the playoffs, because I don't care if you're playing Tampa Bay. I mean, you're playing Ed's boy. I mean, anything can happen. And I mean, Ed's bosom buddy there, Baker Mayfield.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you don't know what could happen when you go. Tampa may be firing them cannons this weekend. You better.
Tampa might be signing him to a 5-year deal after this.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about that team right now. Let's.
I wasn't trying to get too far ahead, but I mean, the Eagles, the Eagles look very ill prepared going into the playoffs, and they have every right to be concerned.
They did. And Phil, I agree with you. North Carolina barbecue, much better. All right, Mike, tell me, what was your biggest surprise of the weekend? Was it the choke job by the Jacksonville Jaguars, or what was it?
Honestly, the only 2 things that really surprised me at all is the Jaguars loss and what Patrick was saying about the Eagles. Now, they had something to play for. Similar to what Eric's talking about with the Lions, it was a very small chance they were going to gain anything. They still had something to play for. They've been playing really bad. They had a reason, if nothing else, they had a reason to try just righting the ship and stuff. And kind of like he talked, I know some players started to get hurt and all that. And before it was over, they were putting backups and stuff. And there was already 24-0 with their starters or something. So I can't believe that they can't even do that. Can't even beat bad teams lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayor, let's go to you. Mayor.
The biggest surprise for me was that Jacksonville just didn't. Jacksonville had every reason to win that game, and they've just stumbled way too many times this year. And I mean, hell, the Titans won that game and fired their coach. I mean, so
how insane is that?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
they made the wrong move by firing him, but
They should have
think
traded him.
Patrick probably is as well. I'm actually happy he's gone from
I'm
but
AFC
but the
South.
Jaguars
Thrilled.
early in the season were, not expected, but there was a lot of talk that they were the, potentially the AFC title contender, going to the Super Bowl possibly, and they had a great. I mean, they were 8-3, I think, at one point, and then they just started stumbling. And Trevor had little injuries here and there that kind of nagged him some throughout the rest of the season, but you got to win that game. You got to win that game and win that division. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but also, like you said, not only did Trevor get hurt, 4 major injuries, but they also had Christian Kirk go down. Tyson Campbell missed a bunch of games. Andre Sisco missed a bunch of games. So offensive line, which wasn't good to begin with, all got shattered too.
Nope. You can't use that excuse on this show. Do you know why?
Because the Browns have a bunch of injuries.
5 quarterbacks.
I'm just saying.
5 quarterbacks this year alone. First team ever in NFL history to make the playoffs with 5 different quarterbacks. So you can't use that excuse.
Kudos to them, but that doesn't take away from. Doesn't mean it's not legit for other people.
No, they lost plenty of people on defense. They lost a bunch of offensive linemen, and on the cornerback. So you can't use that excuse because they still had a chance. I'm
not saying they didn't. I'm not saying they shouldn't have still won one more game to get in. I'm just saying it wasn't like it was just a matter of now all of a sudden the switch came off and now they're playing bad.
Eric wants to call you out right now, but he's just staying back and not saying a word. Right? Look at him. He's
part of the problem is that the defense was what was not good this year. I mean, they had their offense should have been better. They had their issues. They just didn't score a lot like they should have. But that's the whole reason defensive coordinator and the defensive coaching staff's gone, because their defense. They used to have great defenses in Jacksonville. And they just they can't keep anybody from scoring, and that's their biggest problem.
Yeah.
If reports are to be believed, though, I mean, what Jedediah Sellers and his staff are going to bring in on the defensive side of the ball is going to be massive. So I'm real excited about
the real game changer.
Except it's not going to have any electricity. It's just going to be kind of a mundane defense.
Well, I mean, what I really love about Jedediah Sellers' defensive scheme is the Skyline Blitz. I mean, it is. I mean, it is something to behold. I think I even got the influencer to smile at that one. I mean, that's a trophy in and of itself. I got him a smile. Wow, a full smile and everything.
Look at that.
Whoa.
I'll
take it.
With the Mississippi Breaks movie, and I hope Columbus Catfish return. Yeah, that was a cool logo. And also the Wilmington Waves was actually a cool logo, which was a predecessor to the Catfish.
And they were also the South Georgia Wave.
That is true. So that team has moved everywhere until then now, right? All right. As far as me is concerned, I was disappointed in 2 things. 2 things.
Disappointed or surprised?
And surprised at the same time.
Okay.
Surprised that you keep giving yourself balloons?
I have no idea how this is happening.
Hey,
some people give themselves flowers. This man gives himself balloons.
Are those from somebody else doing that, or are you doing that?
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Are those from Baker? Are those from Baker?
Yeah.
Did you say what hat you have and what you're drinking?
Oh, you know what? Thank you. I'm actually wearing my own personal logo, my Dad Hat. Very meta. And then also I'm drinking today mango cardigan, guys, because it is delicious.
Yes.
It goes out so smooth in my Manly Man mug that I have right here. I had one time my wife had delivered to my job when we were in Cleveland, and it was a bouquet of flowers and jerky in the shape of flowers. So nice. There goes that. So there's the backstory on that mug. Okay, the 2 things that I was surprised and disappointed in. One, the Colts. I had them. We all did. We had the Colts winning. It was winning in, and they didn't. And I also had, I seriously thought that the Jacksonville Jaguars were actually going to get it together. We're going to put it all together against which was a bad Tennessee team with a bad quarterback. And they pooped the bed.
You see, I believe Ed that he says he's surprised by these things, but I don't believe him that he says he's disappointed by these things.
No. I'm disappointed with the Colts because I really wanted it, but Jacksonville,
Thanks.
all this stuff that you had been talking about all year, that your quarterback is the MVP, is the best QB in the league, and blah 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 blah, and couldn't even get it done.
All that sounds legit to me.
No, not legit because he choked.
He choked. It wasn't all the dropped passes and all that stuff.
The team choked.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
Ed, with that Colts game, why would you not have Jonathan Taylor in on that last play?
That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Yeah,
He had a monster game.
He was killing he was running all over them.
Do you think he is not as good as pass catcher as out of the backfield, or?
Well, see, I think that's one of the reasons they drafted him is because he has good hands. He proved at Wisconsin that he can catch the ball.
And even besides that, it was only 4th and 2. It's like, even if you don't want to run it, have him in there and make him think like this could be a run.
Right. Decoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was everybody knew as soon as they took him out that
well,
it was going to be a pass.
If you remember, they took him back to the back room, with a heel injury. So I don't know if that got to be enough, but you've played the whole game like that. One more play is not going to do it.
But at least give it's a decoy, right? Like, I mean, yes, the heel is bad, whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah. But like, it would have been a decoy for the
I'm not defending Steichen's call. I think that was the wrong call to make. Because I mean, you need your best players on the field when a playoff spot's on the line, and that's what you paid him all that money. Yeah. You need to have him out there for plays like that.
And I also didn't understand why right before that 4th down, he just wasted 40 seconds and called a timeout. It's like, if you saved both of those things, you might have had an extra minute and a half to get the ball back or something.
Sure.
Yeah, it was
instead of 1 second.
Yeah, exactly.
You wasted the timeout, like you said. You wasted the 40 seconds. Like, I mean, it was just really bad all the way at the end, and still had a chance to win, which is the crazy part.
And if one or two of those deep balls would have happened, you were like a half a yard away from some really big plays. Like I remember the deep ball to Mo Alley Cox, and there it's just. But those games are a game of inches, right? I mean, it's the small little things that happen. You got to be able to make the throw. You got to be able to make the catch, and if you don't, you get punished. And that's exactly what happened.
Sounds like we're talking about the Washington Huskies.
Oh,
yeah.
Yo.
Well, but here's another
everything
one.
You just said applies to them in that game last night.
It does. Yeah. It does. But anyway, another thing we haven't talked about yet. Yeah. Another thing we haven't talked about, though, that was a big talking point is what you guys think of the whole Jameis Winston going for the touchdown in the victory formation. Did you agree with it? Did you think it was wrong to go against Dennis Allen, especially when you're in the victory formation?
No.
Here's my thing. I don't mind people, quote unquote, running up the score as long as they have their backups in, they're running the ball, mostly things like that. I mean, don't call timeouts, don't be throwing Hail Marys, but you don't have to kneel down. I have no problem with that. But I do have a little bit of an issue of, I know it wasn't Dennis Allen, but lining up in a victory formation and then running a play.
That was
my issue.
That was issue. If anything, that was the only issue I had with the whole thing. With the team overriding the head coach at the end of the game, what is he going to do? The season is over at that point. So I didn't have an issue with that one.
My biggest disappointment is I didn't get to see Arthur Smith versus Dennis Allen on pay-per-view before he got fired.
Yeah. Because
I've never liked Jameis Winston, and I thought that was bad of him to do that.
Well, actually, he was not the only one. The whole team said, let's get him the ball.
True.
Well, the biggest thing I didn't like is the way he went in, and told the media the entire plan about the team decided to go against DA. Even if you don't like DA, I mean, that kind of, I don't like the fact that, you're undermining.
You just made your coach look bad.
Yeah. And you've almost made it an untenable situation for him. I mean,
because
it tells me he doesn't have the locker room.
Yeah. Now you got to either get rid of the coach or get rid of some of those players. Jameis Winston is probably going to end up getting cut if Allen stays. Jameis Winston is going to be sent somewhere else.
Yeah. And the worst part is it's your backup quarterback that's doing this to you. I mean, it's not even your starting quarterback. I mean, it's one thing if Derek Carr's doing it.
Well, he's a backup for a reason.
He is. But I said, but for DA, it's even worse that it's the backup quarterback.
Oh, he probably tore them a new one.
I'm sure. I mean, you could see DA in his press conference
Yeah.
when they were talking about Arthur Smith, and he said he seemed mad, and he said he should be. So, you could tell something wasn't right. You could tell that was coming from the heart with DA, that he was not happy with how all that played out.
Yeah.
So
On a side note with that too, did you guys see the little stat where Jamal Williams, led the league in rushing touchdowns last year, and then that was his first rushing touchdown this year?
Yeah, because he was converted to fullback.
Is that what he's been mostly doing this year?
Yeah, he was converted to fullback. They needed the help, and that's why he was converted to fullback at that point. That's the reason he didn't have any touchdowns this year. So
the team wasn't very good.
Well, the team sucked too. So, all right. So let's talk about some of these games. And we've already discussed this, right? The Steelers, Ravens. The Steelers needed to win. That was the case. Like, they needed part A for them to make it the playoffs, right? So they needed a win. They got that win. TJ Watt now out for this game. And the Ravens, they didn't score any touchdowns, really. Only one touchdown in the second quarter, and then 3 points in the fourth quarter. Like, all backups, right? I mean, some of the starters played, but for the most part, it was mostly backups. And then now, just so you guys know, Mason Rudolph is QB1 for the playoffs.
No
Mike Tomlin deserves some of Ed's balloons. I mean, the man takes halfway decent teams and gets them.
He's
they're certainly not elite, but they're like, to get that team into the playoffs with what he's had to work with. I mean, that's another masterful coaching job by Mike Tomlin.
Multiple quarterbacks too. Is that what?
Well, and you think about it, because you had Pickett, and he kept bouncing between Pickett and Trubisky, and then all of a sudden it's like, we're going with Rudolph, and Rudolph looks like almost, I'm not going to use Joe Flacco, but he just comes in out of nowhere, and it's like, boom.
Flacco light. He's Flacco light.
Flacco light.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. Let's not do that. Let's not disrespect Flacco here, okay, guys?
Okay, so Flacco very light?
Flacco-ish at best.
I mean, Ed, how do you feel, though? I imagine you spent 10 years or something absolutely hating Joe Flacco. So how do you feel about him being the one that's saving your season?
I have no problem whatsoever. None
it's all
whatsoever.
Of those second chances. I mean, third chances with Baker. I mean,
I'm about second chances. The 2024 is the year of second chances, baby. Okay.
Listen, that man suffered through Seneca Wallace at quarterback. He deserves a quarterback.
For as many quarterbacks as this organization has seen, I am okay with them making the playoffs. Okay, guys, totally okay.
I can just see it now.
Football.
Put a statue right there in front of the stadium for Flacco.
I can just see it now, like 20 years from now, when Trevor Lawrence is just now starting to fade a little bit, and his contract runs out with Jacksonville, and the Browns sign him, and he leads them.
I have to remove him because that was nonsense. That was nonsense. Let's not. Anyways, did you learn your lesson there, Mike? Don't never start doing that again.
No, I don't learn lessons very fast.
But the Steelers are going to be one of those teams, right? That are going to be. I think they're going to be like a net, right? Like, they're just going to annoy the hell out of whoever they're playing. So that is going to be interesting as far as that's concerned, because I believe I want to see. It's going to be on Sunday, and it is Pittsburgh Steelers against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's going to be a good football game.
Yeah, the first game of the weekend, though, is going to be Cleveland Brownies visiting the Houston Texans. Now, let's talk about that matchup. Like, as far as, I don't want to know who do you guys think is going to win, because that's going to be for Thursday show, right? But like, tell me, who do you know, like, as far as this matchup is concerned, what do you guys think about this one?
It's gonna be a good quarterback going up against a good defense.
Number one defense, by the way. Do you hear that, Mike? Number one defense.
He said a good quarterback against a good defense, so he must have meant Joe Flacco against the Texans.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I'm not allowed to say anything nice about an Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, please don't.
It's CJ Stroud had a very, I got to be objective about it. He had a very mature performance, very, very polished performance. I mean, to come out in your very first pass and throw the deep ball that he obviously had practiced. I mean, that was not a fluke. they practiced that in the week, and to do that, and then he played pretty much mistake-free football through the game. So I think he's ready for the playoffs. I think that the Browns defense, as good as they are going to have their hands full.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Cleveland does on the road. I'm not saying they can't win, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do in Houston.
Yep.
Yeah,
Eric, what's up?
Oh, go ahead.
Talk to me, Eric.
So obviously that you watch the Browns all the time. How do you think they're going to fare indoors? And I'm assuming it's turf, or do they have grass in there? Mike, you would know better because you're dudes.
Yeah, it's turf.
Okay.
It's turf.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous about this game, right? The Browns have sustained a couple of injuries, but they set most of the team. Was like, if you noticed last week, the majority of the starters were not playing, right? I think Houston is a much better team. I really wanted Jacksonville, to be honest with you, just because it would have been a whole lot easier.
That's why you were disappointed.
Yeah, I was absolutely right.
And are the Texans going to get some of their offensive weapons back? Because that's the thing against the Colts. They were missing, other than Nico, they were missing a lot of their top receivers. A lot of like three of four of CJ's top targets. I don't know how the extent of their injuries, but it's going to be interesting to see because Stroud was doing it with an undermanned offense as well. So that's another thing to keep.
But at the same time, that Browns defense is a whole lot better. And no offense to the Colts, right? I'm not taking anything away from the Colts.
Don't disrespect that Colts front seven.
But Browns is a little bit better than that when it comes to that defense. We'll see.
Certainly as a unit, because I mean the Colts secondary is trash. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you have Myles Garrett, which if it wasn't for TJ Watt, I think he would win the Defensive Player of the Year. But I think they're going to give it to TJ Watt. But like, I mean, the front seven for the Browns plus those corners, that's going to be an interesting matchup when it comes to this game on Sunday. So what do you think, Eric?
Yeah, it's going to be hopefully a really good game. Kind of hard to predict. I'm just kind of worried about the Browns going indoors on turf just because I don't know that they play indoors as much because, you got the Ravens, the
AFC
Steelers,
North.
the Bengals. Yep. Yeah, you're all outside in the cold. I mean, obviously, there's not going to be weather issues, but that's the only thing that was.
I don't think going from outdoor to indoor is half as difficult as going from indoor to outdoor.
I don't know, man, because I mean, AFC North, that's a run team, right? Like, I mean, there's an advantage of playing outdoors too when it comes to.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's no difference at all, but I mean, like if you're used to warm weather or indoors and you go to 10-degree weather, I think that's a bigger disadvantage than the other way around.
Yeah, I can see that.
But there is a big difference going from grass to turf.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
So what you don't lose in the weather, you lose in the type of surface that you play on.
The leverage for those defensive linemen, right? As far as trying to push off or something, things like that. That's going to be a huge difference between grass and turf.
Yeah, that's what worries me about the speed of your guys' defense is how they're going to play on that. That's the only thing. That one's going to be hard. Obviously, we'll have to pick on Thursday, but that one's going to be a hard one. I think it should be a really good game.
That's the tough one for me right now.
Yeah.
As far as all of the games, I have a pretty good idea of who I think is going to win. This one, and I'm a Browns fan, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I could see it within 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It'll be
a close football game. I really
for
do.
Sure. All right, so let's talk about the other Saturday game, which is going to be the Miami Dolphins going to Kansas City. And this one, guys, we're not going to be able to watch this game because it's going to be on Peacock.
Right.
Like, come on.
I can watch. I can watch.
I'm not paying Peacock to watch these teams.
I pay for Peacock to watch soccer, so this is just a bonus for me.
Okay. All right. So cool. I'll give you that. So since you are doing that, but let's talk about this one, guys. Miami Dolphins, they stumbled right there at the end when it came to the game. Kansas City has not looked good all year. Let's be honest. They have not looked good.
They haven't, but back to the whole weather thing, a Florida team going to not just a colder weather area, but isn't it supposed to be like 10 degrees?
Yeah, it'll be between 5 to 10 degrees on Saturday and then 1 degree on Sunday here in the area. So yeah, I don't see the Dolphins winning this game with that weather. I know Tyreek's coming back, but with the weather and everything, I could see this one easily being a 6-7 or even higher point game for the Chiefs.
Roger Goodell put Casey on Peacock to make all those Swifties pay to see the game.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Then Zach, power move by NFL by making all the Swifties buy pick. Okay, I got you. Shannon, coldest recorded game possibly. Last coldest game sucked.
And that's what I was referring to the other day. We went to the Chiefs-Titans game probably 5 or 6 years ago. It was -2 at that game. So I think that's the game she's referring to.
Oh, gross.
It was awful.
That's gross. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Let me wash it down with this wonderful beer.
That's crazy.
And then the fun part was the Chiefs lost on a last-second field goal to the Titans too.
Oh, so you're cold. Your team loses, and now you're angry on top of that. Oh God, no,
Well,
forget it.
I didn't care because I'm not a Chiefs fan. But
It's true.
it had just snowed too, so they didn't shovel off the walkway where your feet are, and so your feet are just sitting in snow, and so they're just absolutely frozen. Oh yeah, they iced the kicker literally, called a timeout, and then the kicker, I can't remember, Titans kicker made it or whatever. I don't remember the whole what happened in that game.
I'm sure someone remembers though.
I did have passes where we got to go down on the field after the game and got to take our picture, and we're in these huge coats and hats and stuff, so you couldn't even tell that it was us. We're like, oh sure, you take us down on the field and you can't even tell it's us, all bundled up and everything.
That's awesome though. He didn't make it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He missed the field goal, but they called timeout, and then he kicked it again and made it, and they won for the Titans. That's right.
All right. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting game, right? Kansas City, like I said, in my opinion, has not really looked good. They're the number 3 seed just because the division is not that good.
Do we know if Waddle or Mostert will be back? Have they said yet?
I don't think they've said yet.
No, I haven't
either
seen
one of
anything.
them
I've
are
not heard.
playing, I don't think they're gonna stand a chance.
Honestly, if one of them is out, I don't think they have a chance. If
Yeah.
they're in, I can see this being another close game. But if one of them is out, forget it. Not
I
happening.
mean, Achane
I think
is fine, but
Mostert probably has a
Mostert-
better chance.
Okay.
I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough one. All right. So those are the only Saturday games, right? And then Sunday, this is going to be the interesting game. And I'm going to start with you, Eric, because this concerns your team right here, right? The Green Bay Packers, the number 7 seed, right? They needed to win and a little bit of help. So they got some help. They got in, but now they get to go to Dallas, which are 6 or 7-1 at home.
I think they're undefeated at home.
Yeah, they haven't
They're
lost.
undefeated. at
Haven't
home.
lost. So
You're
undefeated at
telling
home.
them that one is come Sunday.
I'm just, making sure that they get it. They get the message that their one loss of the season is going to be this one.
That's right.
For Ed's it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
Don't worry. I
You're
took
the
care of
script.
it. I took care of it, just like I took care of the Buccaneers. Okay, guys.
Mhm.
So tell
At
me,
least
Eric,
you
what do you
admit it.
think?
So, oh, gross. Somebody get her out of my house.
Whoa!
Man, a lot of chatter
so-
going on over there in the dugout today.
Oh man.
I'd be curious to see come Thursday what the over is on that, because I think this will be a high scoring game. I'm just also curious to see how well that Jair Alexander plays, because last year he shut down Jefferson in the game against Minnesota. And so I'd be curious if he's on his game. He has a good shot that he could shut down. I know CD Lamb's really good, but if Jair can hold down CD Lamb, I think it's going to be a shootout. So we'll see.
Are they going to let him play? He didn't make himself captain again last week.
I was just about to say,
No.
you're going to be a captain.
No, no, he's playing. He's not, because he had a pretty good game against the Bears. He shut down for the most part DJ Moore.
All right,
I was
so we
wondering
do
if
some-
Jair was going to be the head coach.
He probably
Maybe
is.
make himself captain.
All right, so Browns, Texans. Browns are a 2.5 point favorite. Earlier today, they were a 4.5, so that line has moved. We'll see how that does, closer to Thursday. Dolphins and Chiefs, that's a 4 point difference, so they're giving that to Kansas City. Your Packers and Cowboys right now, as it stands, is a 7.5 point favorite for Dallas.
That's fine. I'll take the 7.5.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one. Okay, boys, Steelers, Bills. Steelers are traveling to Buffalo. That's going to be another cold game, right?
But they're
Buffalo.
used to it.
Buffalo is
I was gonna say Steelers are used to it too. So
10-point favorite for Buffalo.
Yeah,
That
without
seems like a
TJ Watt, I know their defense is good, but without Watt, I don't know. I think
I don't see them winning
being in
this one.
Buffalo, yeah.
Especially how they've been doing, right? How they've been playing. Buffalo has been firing on all cylinders right now, guys. They are a scary team.
They didn't look the best for the most part of the game until mid-third against the Dolphins, but then they had
Allen
that punt
didn't look
return.
good.
Right. Oh, yeah, some of his interceptions, that one where Gabe
In the end
Davis, I
zone?
think when he went down in the end zone, he wasn't anywhere close to that pass. And then
He threw it at the defender. That's what he did.
Yeah, it wasn't even but then they had that punt return for a touchdown. That's basically what flipped the game. So
Yeah. Eric Lichtenberg, Cowboys have been so good at home. So we'll see how this goes. All right. Guys, let me hear from Mike, Mayor. Now you're back. We're talking Steelers here, Bills, Packers, Cowboys so far, Chiefs and Dolphins and Browns, Texans. Give me your thoughts on some of these games, my friend.
I feel like the Browns Texans one might be the most competitive as far as like not necessarily the two best teams or whatever, but the most evenly matched game this weekend. So as far as from just a competitive point of view, that's the one I'm looking most forward to. I feel like I won't say what they are since you don't want to do picks yet, but I feel like of the 6 games this week, 2 of them are super easy in my mind who's going to win. 2 of them are like I think I know who's going to win, but I wouldn't be shocked if the other team won. And then the other 2 to me are just like basically coin flips.
Yep, pretty much.
Mayor,
talk to me.
I think that Browns Texans game deserved to be the Monday night game. I think Eagles Buccaneers is a horrible Monday night game. That Eagles Buccaneers, that needed to be the first game on Saturday that nobody really is thinking about football with.
Yeah,
particularly with how the Eagles are playing.
Yeah, I mean,
the NFL loves the NFC East too much to not give them a prime time.
Yeah,
slot.
but that's such a bad. If you the NFL, let's put the NFC and all that aside. Like you're looking for storylines, right? You got the new Deshaun Watson not led because he's not playing, but like he's going to be there. Browns, right? Going to Houston. I mean, look at the storyline right there. Or do they not want to? They want to avoid all of that conversation altogether, and that's why they have the Browns at the 4:30 slot.
I don't disagree with you about how it should be, but I think literally all they care about as far as slotting these is just the popularity in the markets of teams. So, I mean, they're just going to put the most popular teams in the best time slots.
Well, and the Cowboys are in their usual, 4:30 on Sunday time slot. They usually dominate that time slot.
Yeah, nobody touches that. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's a Fox game of the week time
Especially
thing
against
there.
the Packers.
Hatter says Rams Lions should have been Monday night, but Sunday night football gets way better games than Monday night football. So
for sure,
the Sunday night game needed to be Rams Lions. That's going to be a great matchup on Sunday night.
Yeah, Stafford coming back to Detroit. That's a good storyline too.
Yeah, I mean Dolphins Chiefs.
Stafford going to Detroit. Jared Goff playing against his old team, trying to eliminate them. That's a great storyline. See, that fits right there for Sunday night football.
Yeah. That's going to be perfect for that.
And 2 good teams.
Yeah.
Like as someone who grew up in in Ohio, right? You will have a soft spot for the Detroit Lions just because they're very similar. I'm so pulling for Detroit right now. I want to see them win, get as far as possible. I want to see a Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns Super Bowl. That's what I want to see.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What's the over under on the Rams Lions game?
Let me see.
They don't have it yet.
No.
Really?
At least they don't show it on ESPN.
Let me see, because
they only have the line. They don't have the over under listed. At least I don't see it.
No, they don't. They don't have it yet.
Let me see on DraftKings.
Oh, no, you know what? They do have the over-under. For the Rams-Lions, 51.5.
Yeah. I figured it'd be high. I didn't think it'd be quite that high, but
Yowza. That is insane. Well, the Packers and Cowboys is a 50.5.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that'll.
Honestly, they're all pretty high except Pittsburgh and Buffalo. That's 36.5.
But that's expected, right? Because of where they're playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Browns and Texans is 44.5. Dolphins, 43.5. Like you said, Steelers Mafia, Steelers Bills 36.5. And then the Monday night is 43. So everything is above 40 except for Bills and Steelers.
Yeah, and even a couple above 50.
That's insanity.
Yeah, for playoffs especially.
Yeah.
What's up, Lynn? How are you, girl?
Lynn.
That's going to be some interesting. If you were to choose one game, guys, one game to watch this weekend, I know what you're going to say already, Eric. I know you're going to pick the Cowboys and Packers, but let's try to be a little bit more, let's look at the whole picture.
Yeah, get your bias out of the way.
Yeah, let's just, let's be as unbiased as possible.
Influence the other games, Eric Prophet.
What games would you guys pick to watch?
I'll go one from both conferences. I'll go Cleveland, Houston. I think is going to be a really good game, and then the Rams, Lions.
Mine's the exact same, if I'm honest.
Okay.
If I was picking one,
and yes, I was influenced by one Eric Prophet.
If I was picking one from each conference, I would agree with that. But since I'm gonna actually answer your question that said just one, I'm gonna pick the Rams and Lions because the storyline I feel like is a little better for me, at least.
Eric, you want to get that knife out of your back? I mean, he's just like straight.
I'll be right back. I gotta get the Skyline chili off of my face.
Jesus.
Okay, fine. I'll pick one. Cleveland, Houston. I'm just worried about if Laporta's not playing, which I'm assuming he's not. That's going to be. I mean, I know they have Amon-Ra, but
Amon-Ra is pissed right now.
Yeah, but with Nakua, and then obviously Kupp didn't play this weekend. Stafford didn't play. That's the only thing about some of the coaches are talking about. Yeah, I don't want to rest my guys a couple weeks, but then others are like, yeah, I need to rest my guys. So Lions played their guys for the most part. Rams didn't. So yeah, we'll see.
I see some players resting. I see some players playing. Like, I mean, there's some players that need that game time, physicality.
Not only are there some teams, like you said, that have a little more or less to play for seed-wise or whatever, but then there's players, kind of like I'll use Stafford as an example, that's got an extensive injury history. So, yeah, anybody could get hurt, but there's an extra reason to maybe rest him.
And as far as the Browns, I would have said Flacco as well, because then you're going to have to play like DTR or – forget it. No.
Well, and they were 100% locked into where they were at, too. It wasn't even like, well, they could move up or down one spot.
Yeah, they were locked at that position. Correct, yeah.
Did you see all those guys that were playing to get their incentives for the year? Like Chris Jones got that sack that he needed, or half sack, and then Jadeveon Clowney. And then as soon as they got that, they did their money celebrations and then got out of there.
Puka Nacua, same thing. Got him out,
Chris Jones, they were telling Andy Reid was saying he's done. He's like, no, coach, give me one more. And then what's his name? He just fell down to the ground and got credited for the sack. And Reed's like, okay, you're done.
Okay, you got your sack? Good. All right, get out.
Ross Tucker was.
I don't know Clark Hunt like that.
Ross Tucker was on hosting for Dan on Friday on Juicy's
What the hell just happened, Mike?
An avalanche of
you heard that,
ice cream helmets.
Yeah,
that's exactly what just happened.
What are you talking about? Did we hear that? Then your face was like.
I mean, I heard it, obviously.
He's like, maybe they didn't hear that.
I saw him dropping over his shoulder back there.
I just saw the avalanche of ice cream helmets. Just
when Donnie was here, I told him that happens more often than I wish it did.
You might want to find a new spot.
Like a train going by.
Now that we're not interrupted, can you please continue, Donnie?
So I was just gonna say Ross Tucker was hosting Friday, and they were talking about that with player incentives and things like that. And he said back when he was playing, I don't know if it was when he was with Dallas or the Bills or something, the last game of the season, there was a guy that needed 1.5 sacks to hit a bonus. And he was telling everybody on the offensive line he'd pay him $50,000 to let him get a sack. And they were like, well, talk to us in the fourth quarter. We'll see how the game's going. And they got to the fourth quarter, and people are like, y'all think he's serious? And they're like, hell yeah, he's serious. So they let him get the 2 sacks at the end of the game, and 2 guys collected $50,000 off of him for that.
Yep. Eric Lichtenberg, not the ice cream helmets.
I feel the same way.
Somewhere Paul Caputa just fell to his knees.
He probably like Obi-Wan Kenobi felt a disturbance in the force.
did.
His helmets went falling.
I'm
That's a
about to
great
call
analogy.
Paul. Are you okay? Are you sure? You know, I heard some ice cream helmets fall.
Hey, Paul, did you feel that? He'd be like, what are you talking about?
There's a disturbance in the force. I got lost my train of thought because of the ice cream helmet. I'm not even gonna lie. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, don't blame me for that one. I mean, technically, yeah, but
What are you talking about? That happened to you.
I didn't knock him down.
Nobody heard that. I'm just gonna act like nothing
actually-
happened.
It's actually Paul's fault because he's the one that motivated me to start collecting these anyway. So
No, that's actually a real life model of his Skyline Blitz that he's preparing for the for the Jaguars defensive
yeah,
coordinator
a little
duties.
preview there.
Yeah.
A little sneak peek.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Caught
the
you off
Skyline-
guard, right?
That Skyline Blitz. I mean, they are all in. They are all in on that blitz.
all my mini helmets are in a big box in the basement office. All right, Lynn.
Okay, Lynn, you're becoming a hoarder. You got to display
Yeah.
them.
You gotta display it now. That's the difference. I actually have some stuff in a box still because there's no room in my office. So I got to figure out some ways of just like rearranging things around here. So, you know, I'm going to go with, and, you know, I'll give you my picks for this week. It's like, I'll pick the NFC Lions Rams. I want to see that happen. Like the storyline of, like Jared Goff, right? Just taking revenge against the Rams, or, you know, the Rams just coming in and, you know, breaking the hearts of all Detroit Lions fans with their old quarterback Matt Stafford, right? That's going to be interesting. And I'm trying not to pick the Browns Houston, but I think that's the most interesting game as far as like how close they are, evenly matched they are, right? Because as far as like Eagles Buccaneers, that's going to be interesting. You know, we'll talk about, you know, who wins that game next on Thursday, but Bill Steelers, right? You know, we kind of have an idea on that game. And then, you know, Dolphins Chiefs. I don't know if that's going to be as competitive as people want it to be.
And that's Tyreek Hill returning to KC as well. So there's a little storyline with that. I'm the Rams Lions is the game I want to see. I probably won't see either of the games on Saturday anyway. But that Browns Texans game also is a very intriguing game. I wish that was actually later on Sunday or even Monday night or something like that, because that's, I mean, you got the Texans who were, last year, staring down the first pick of the draft, got the second pick of the draft, and here they are in the playoffs. And the Browns have, been trying to get some success for quite a while now. So it's going to be a shame that either one of those teams is going to lose that first game.
I know. It's going to be interesting. And let's talk about the last game, Monday night, the game that should not be a Monday night, Eagles and Buccaneers. Listen, like I've been saying, Buccaneers, they're just slowly but surely doing their own thing. No one's really paying attention to them. And now they won the division. Granted, that division is also not good, right?
Yeah.
But they took care of business.
And they've had some flashes of, every now and then they've had some flashes of some really good games. And you combine that with the Eagles playing so poorly, it should be a close one.
They were 10-1, and now they're 11-6, the Eagles, and playing a wild card game.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Not only are they playing a wild card game, they're traveling. We were anointing. Everybody was anointing them as a Super Bowl favorites when they were 10-1. I was like, who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? And there were a lot of people saying, I was like, well, that is the luckiest 10-1 team right there.
I was about to say on this show, I think everyone was saying that record flattered them because there were a lot of games that they could very, very well could have lost and probably should have lost. Yeah. So we said that about the Eagles. We said that about a lot of other teams that had.
I said that about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So you think like this year's Eagles is like last year's Vikings, like not as good as the record because they won so many close games?
Yes, true, Professor. Crappy
Yeah.
record can still get you in. No pressure on 13-0 with mediocre team like in a QB, right? So,
Well, and the
you know,
Eagles didn't play a lot of good teams throughout. I mean, they had a schedule full of mediocre teams that got them to
it
that
should have been
record.
an easy schedule for them. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they beat the Buccaneers back in September 25-11 in the third game of the season. So they've played each other this year and have come out ahead of them.
But ironically, right, the last 4 or so games that the Eagles won before they started the slide were against good teams. They beat like the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Cowboys.
Yeah, they were
Maybe
making a
before
run
then.
at it, and then all of a sudden they just
Yeah.
sort of tripped.
Yeah.
Eric, give me your thoughts, man. You're quiet over there. You're thinking over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that game, that Monday night game, is not going to be good at all. What Tampa win 9-0 and kicked 3 field goals against the Panthers. Obviously,
horrible Panthers team too.
They won, so they got the division, got in. But yeah, the Eagles. That's as much as I want to see Houston and Cleveland. This game, I mean, I'll obviously watch it, but I'm not looking forward to that game at all.
I'm sure we'll be texting. All of us will be texting on Friday, talking about this game. I was like, "Ugh, this thing is not good."
Yeah, I mean, every time we say that, it's probably going to end up being a really good game,
Right. And the ones we think will be good will be 30-point blowouts.
Yeah. We're going to show this game much more attention than it deserves.
Yeah.
because by virtue of the fact that it's on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly,
it's
all
gonna
these
be
being
scrutinized.
standalone games.
Yeah.
It's so going to be scrutinized. That Sunday
Yeah.
night game is going to be scrutinized. The Monday night game is going to be scrutinized just because that's the only game that they're showing.
Yeah.
So there's nothing going on all day Monday, right? And all of a sudden you got to go in and watch this game, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, and you know what everybody else has already done for the weekend. So it's like, okay, this team wins, they're going here. This team wins, they're going there.
True.
Yeah, it's Monday's National Hat Day and that Monday night game. So our text thread's going to be blowing up all day Monday.
Woo,
Yep.
baby, it's going to be interesting.
So come Tuesday on the next show next week, or the first show next week.
Yeah. Also, Ed, you said there's nothing going on Monday until then, but luckily for you, that's the beginning of the Australian Open. So plenty of good stuff.
And goodbye.
And it's all done.
Waiting for that one.
Yep.
Yeah. There's Mike's probably gone to the New Era website to get that hat.
Yeah, I saw the logo. It's a nice logo. Oh, wait, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
How dare he be doing things like that? Listen, you do that again, you know what's going to happen, Sunshine. So
You
calm
promised me
down.
so many 15 seconds of tennis that you never gave to me.
Yeah, there we go.
Tennis.
Golly. Iowa caucuses too. Monday will be busy. That's right.
Speaking of, Iowa caucuses hats are on sale.
I already got the
Really?
my Iowa caucuses hat, so my dad hat ready to go.
Are the fitteds on sale too?
Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah,
The
let me
Iowa
check.
caucuses, was that by the Dan Simon?
It was. Sure was. Yep.
Most certainly was.
Jedediah Sellers, they are included in the sale.
Yes. That's the important ones.
Yes,
You're
sir.
looking to get kicked out again, dude. You better calm down, okay, Sunshine?
Tennis.
They are on sale. Look at that. $16.
What?
Really?
What for the
No,
what,
just
for
the eye.
Dad Hat,
The one
right?
with the Iowa Cubs.
Okay.
The caucuses are not on sale at the moment.
Well, there's a code.
Yeah,
There's a code that you
there's a
use.
code, yeah.
Okay.
They got the Des Moines Undertakers and the Dad Hat, so I might be interested in that one.
The code is vote 24.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mike, it's vote 24.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
I'll
there
look
you
at
go.
that as soon as we're done here.
Iowa's covered in about a foot of snow, and temperatures are going to drop to single digits.
So is she trying to persuade us not to get hats
Yeah.
from Iowa?
She
Is that
said
what
probably
you
saying
think?
the shipping will be delayed.
They'll
Yeah.
be delayed a couple of weeks.
Professor Hatter, that's the Iowa Cubs official store website. It's I think it's Iowa Cubs spelled out .milbstore.com, if I remember just off the top of my head.
Which you are correct.
Yeah.
He acts
So-
like he doesn't know.
Do they know
Right.
you by name there too, Patrick?
They
No.
know him by name.
No. Most of them don't, because they move around so much that, that by the time I get to know them, then they're all gone. So,
Yeah, that's funny because they have your name and phone number plastered on the wall. But like, if that guy calls, make sure you take his phone calls because he is going to buy at least one hat.
well, you know what it says underneath it, right? It says sucker. I mean, Patrick. So
it doesn't matter. You're still buying one, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Have you guys seen the new Albuquerque Isotopes batting practice hat?
The purple one?
All purple?
I have not.
Yeah.
Donnie's still not looking. Donnie is still not looking at that Iowa the Isotopes hat.
I was like, come on now, man. Y'all are killing me sending me this stuff during the day. I'm like, I'm sitting here trying to work, and all of a sudden I'm like,
yeah,
here's some more hats. Here's some more hats. I'm like, dude, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, I also I tried to figure out if unfortunately the Isotopes batting practice hat will not be on sale during National Hat Day, but I do know that the Isotopes will have a National Hat Day sale. So
interesting.
I highly recommend getting to Albuquerque if you haven't been in an Isotopes game. I met Mr. Caputo there.
I'm actually so he was just talking to Paul. No joke. In April, he goes like, Ed, what you need to do is you take a Frontier flight from Raleigh to Denver, and then you and me will drive down to Albuquerque. I'm like, tell me more.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Mr. Caputo for the invitations he gives me to Denver. Oh, wait, never mind. That doesn't happen. So.
I bet you if you did go to Denver, he would remember that you went to Denver, though. Unlike some people going to Wichita,
Yeah. Or in that case, he chooses to forget or wants to forget for such a horrendous experience that he had to spend with a below average guest.
That's right.
Yeah.
And don't you forget it.
Yeah. At this point, he just agrees with it.
Donnie, this is for you, buddy. Donnie has so many boxes too.
Okay, so the other night I get this conversation with her. I have a bone to pick with you. There's so many boxes on the porch, and I said, well, I only placed 2 orders. Unfortunately, one of those with MILB website ships directly from each of the team stores. So I got 3 hats at like $12 to $15, but they all came from 3 different places.
Yeah,
that's true. I hate when they do that.
I'm sticking to it.
Well, it's the way it all works. Yeah, I mean, because that MILB store is a hub, and it goes to all the individual team stores. Because you get the main order confirmation, but then you get 3 different order numbers associated with the different teams if you buy from 3 different teams. So, not that I know from experience or anything.
Which is funny because, like, for those of you who keep track on your app, the shop app, right?
Yes, so mine's always full.
Every single time, right?
Yep.
So I keep track on that, but the problem is you get the minor league baseball, then you get the teams track, and I'm like I get excited. I was like, oh, I'm getting an extra hat. No, it's not. It's just 2 different sites sending me the same information, which is kind of annoying.
Thank goodness I get shop cash.
For real.
that adds up.
To use it on more hats.
Yep. That's exactly what happens
here.
Yep.
And she said, you use a shop app, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I need to get that. So she's now using it for her things that she orders.
I use it all the time.
That I don't complain about.
Look at the good that's come from you buying hats, Donnie. Like your wife now knows about the shop app, and she gets shop cash too. Man, just
can you see if Shop App can sponsor Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show?
For real. Let's talk about
kidding.
It. All she's got to do is look to the top left and top right of her screen and see on both sides of the influencer that there's influencer 2 and influencer 3 all across the top row.
It's funny that I got called out on Twitter too by Paul about the hat.
But I feel like part of me has to take responsibility for that, because I was telling you guys about the Iron Pig sale, and then you passed it along to him, and I got away scot-free.
Which is right. And as soon as I got it, I was like, "Ooh, I got it." I was like, so I sent it to Paul, and Paul is on. I think he was in Jersey, and he goes like, "Why do you do this to me?"
Yeah, you really are an influencer for Paul, though, Ed. I mean, when it comes to buying hats, at least. You were definitely an influencer for him.
The other day, I made the video of the Medusa's hat, right? And he literally, as soon as he's done watching it, he texted me. He's like, "Where did you find that one? Like, I want that one." I'm like, "Sorry, buddy, it's not available right now."
Yeah, you might want to talk to Bob about that one.
So he has connections there. He's got
connections everywhere.
Guys,
like Eric.
Before we go, I wanted to talk about, because we were just talking about the Mississippi Braves, right?
Yeah.
Owned by Diamond Holdings, right? So like that's a team that's like, now they're going to play 1 year in Mississippi, right? And they're moving. They're going to be changing their name, their brand, everything. Moving to Georgia, like now that we see what's going on with this conglomerate of collecting all these teams, how do we feel about this? Like, do we have mixed feelings about this company? Like, one, buying all these teams, but two, at the same time, they see what the potential is for merchandising and then changing those names. So, like, give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of one conglomerate buying all these, but so far their actions since they've done that has only been good as far as these rebrands and stuff. So, I mean, so far so good.
Well, they've facilitated with this one, I think, something that was inevitable anyway. That it was going to change or move. Yeah. And at least they didn't. The thing is, they didn't come in and just make every change all at once. They've kind of selectively done it. I agree with Mike. I don't like the idea of a monopolization, if you will, of teams.
Yeah.
But they're doing a good thing in what could potentially be a bad way, but we'll just have to. It's one of those. We'll see how it ends up later on. But I think they are doing good by doing that. And it's funny. It's the 20th anniversary of the Mississippi Braves, and they're 20 years,
and then they're yanking them.
Yeah, and then they're yanking them. But because I think we had talked. I don't know if we talked about it, but I know there was talk at some point that a team might move to Columbus anyway. I think there was rumblings about that. So I think it was going to happen one way or another, whether they bought it and moved it or somebody else moved it.
In December, the Columbus-Muskogee Consolidated Government passed a spending bill to make a lot of investments to enhancing Golden Park, and really kind of along Victory Drive, which is just outside of Golden Park. I mean, it's been an area that's been in desperate need of investment for a while, and they've already invested in so many parts of uptown Columbus and downtown Columbus that this was kind of like a large scale project that's been in the works for some time. And so they passed that package in mid-December, and I got the sense from people that deal was contingent on them making the announcement that the Mississippi Braves would move to Columbus, because there have been rumblings, like Donnie said, that a baseball team being attractive was on the horizon, and the Braves made the most sense because of geographical reasons. So, and obviously because they have experience being home to an affiliated team multiple times before. So I feel bad, honestly, for the people of Pearl, Mississippi, and people in the greater Jackson area. But I am excited for the people of Columbus. I have family that lives down there, and they're excited about it. But whenever you're happy for someone, you got to be sad for somebody else. Yeah. And so I feel bad for that. Mississippi's losing a team. What does that leave them now? Biloxi. And
I think Biloxi is in good shape
as far as affiliated is concerned.
Yeah.
I know they've got Ole Miss baseball and Mississippi State baseball, but as far as anything else, you what?
Well, how do you guys feel about the? Sorry, I talked over you, Mike. Say it again.
I was just agreeing with Patrick that, like, as far as minor leagues, it'll just be Biloxi.
Yeah. So at this point, then, how do y'all feel about the fact that the Braves will have every one of their affiliates technically within the state, even though the Augusta plays in North Augusta, South Carolina?
Cleveland kind of does the same. Cleveland has Akron, Lake County, Columbus. The only one that they don't have is Lynchburg.
Yeah.
Isn't all of Baltimore's not necessarily in the same state, but within like an hour drive or something?
Very close, yeah. I mean,
that's still not the norm, though.
Yeah, Delmarva, Bowie, Norfolk,
and Aberdeen.
See, part of me doesn't like that because I mean your state's already an influx of the major league team branding, and now it's like you're going to be, I don't know, you just like you're not extending your brand beyond your territory. It's weird.
In 2020, I took a tour of the Asheville Tourist Ballpark, and the assistant general manager who's giving me the tour said like the Rockies specifically, that's who they're affiliated with at the time, specifically wanted when they were an expansion team to have their affiliates all over the country to help, like you're saying, with the fandom and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I can see it both ways though.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I see it both ways. I would like it to be more spread out.
I see. I'm of the belief that you should have at least one team close by.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just for the purpose.
Team.
Yeah, or double A.
I think the AAA team makes the most sense because of back and forth when you guys up and down more so than
guys up and down, or you're doing
AA.
rehab stint or something like that. Then at that point, all right, keep them close. But I'm also on the other side of the fence that's saying is, okay, maybe we should, like Rocky's there. It's like maybe we should spread it out so that way we can have that, that brand recognition that is our major league name.
Yeah, especially if you're a less popular team. Yeah, I'm sure if the Yankees were starting from scratch, they wouldn't need to worry about that. But
and I like Donnie's point. What it makes me think about is like those I think I really appreciate your point, Donnie, about those places that don't have access to a major league team. There's flyover states that don't have, that their nearest team is a minor league team. They can't get to Major League Baseball games. Mm-hmm. Whereas now people in Georgia within a couple hours can go to a major league game. They can go to, three different minor league games all within, a couple of hours. So and I think what Lynn said too makes sense. It's saturation. They're doing it for their own logistical advantages. I don't think they're doing it for the fans necessarily.
No, they're just doing it to save the money.
Yeah,
and I don't blame them.
I don't either, but I do think that sometimes part of the magic of minor league baseball is that it is bringing affordable family entertainment to people who can't get to major league games or can't afford to get to major league games.
Well, and what I love about South Carolina, for instance, is, Columbia's the Fireflies are Kansas City. So I got a Royals affiliate, Charleston's a Tampa affiliate, Myrtle Beach is a Cubs affiliate, Augusta's a Braves affiliate. I like all these teams, and that kind of gives me a little connection to these other major league teams. Yep. Everybody in Georgia is going to be like, they're all affiliated with the Braves. So if you're not a Braves fan, do you care about the minor league teams? If you're somebody that lives in Georgia and you're I'm not a Braves fan, I go to Gwinnett or I go to Rome or I go to Columbus now or Augusta. It's like, I wish there was like a team that was somebody other than the Braves around here to go see.
Well, even for us here in North Carolina, right? We don't have a major league team. Yeah. So we have a bunch of minor league teams with different major league affiliations. Yeah. You got the White Sox, the Rays. So you got a lot of teams that are here. I just wish I also had a major league team, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, well, and in response to what Donnie said, as someone who does go, who is in Georgia and like will go to Gwinnett Stripers games, and being a Blue Jays fan, I still like to see. I kind of take it that I get to see some of the other teams that come visit. It's not the same thing as a home team, but it's occasionally when the Buffalo Bisons come, I want to go to all those games because I get to see people coming to Coolray Field in Blue Jays gear. Because believe it or not, that actually does happen. And so people come in Bison's gear and then Blue Jays gear, and I get yelled at by the Stripers staff for wearing my Blue Jay stuff, and it's a good time. So,
but you buy the gear anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I do.
And I've adopted the Royals kind of as an additional team that I'm a follower of now.
I have not.
Good, you should.
The influencer strikes again. There it is.
Influence struck out on this one with me. Well, that's because he's an AL Central team, so I can't root for another AL Central team.
Well, I was going to say that's a first because he certainly influenced your picks.
Did you see the video I just posted recently about the logos? Chili Man?
I sure did.
You should watch it.
Okay.
I did. And you're going to ruffle some feathers in this chat.
I purposely did.
Yeah.
I purposely did.
Yeah, Mike, you're not going to like it.
I'm used to messages from Ed and Eric or being messages I
Yeah,
don't
well,
like.
This is video form, so just
Okay.
This is video
So they're
form.
mixing it up a little bit, huh? Keeping it
Go,
fresh.
go on my YouTube channel, guys, and
Yeah,
take a look
Donnie,
at that.
Okay.
Donnie may have some words after this too. So
Yeah, I need to check
I
it
don't know
out.
what you're
I
talking
saw
about.
it. I didn't watch it, but I saw there was a video I needed to check out. So
Donnie, I
Yeah.
like you. Don't watch it
okay.
for
So you
your
want
own
me to
good.
watch it?
But I want Chili Man to watch it.
oh man, I want you to take a video and get a live reaction.
I know you should. You should watch it and then
Live
get
reaction
a
when you're
live
watching it.
reaction to both of you. It's like, why? What did I do to Ed?
Yeah, because
Right.
he's not going to just have the ire of a couple of people here. He's going to have the ire of a lot of baseball fans.
Now I'm curious.
What's up, Mike?
Mike says not everyone has good taste.
Mike
That's
from the
true.
Iron Pig. Mike from the Iron Pigs.
What's happening, Mike? I don't know what you're
All
talking
right.
appreciate
about.
you,
Have him
Mike.
in here.
But I love the
appreciate
Iron
you,
Pigs,
Mike.
though. I have way too many Iron Pigs hats. Did you guys know
I do
that?
like
I
the
have a
Iron
lot of-
Pigs too.
Let me tell you, speaking of being influencers, Mike Luciano's an influencer because I'm telling you, he releases a hat and it's like I magically go over to the store and purchase it. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate you, man.
I met him this summer when I was in Lehigh Valley. I met up with Mr. Falkowski, and he went over and introduced me to Mike.
There you go. I gotta
One
make
of-
it this year or next year to that one because I really want to go. I really love the Iron Pigs brand.
No,
It's
no,
amazing.
it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, one of
Mike
those
does-
boxes
Mike
at the
does a
house is
great
from the
job.
Iron Pigs. So I've got some
Yeah.
Iron Pigs gear to open up when I get home tomorrow.
Yep. And Rhonda's like, yes, you do. Yes,
Yep.
you do. I got one. I just got the belt one just delivered to me not too long ago. So I mean, I got a few.
Yeah.
And of course, the cookies. Obviously, you got to have the cookies. You know.
Yeah, I love that.
That's.
I still got to
that's
go
love
back on
maker.
there and get the minor league logo shirt. I did not order that when I placed my order, and I beat myself up
Oh
over it.
man! So what you're saying is there's yet another order going into the Iron Pigs.
Right,
sometime
for
soon.
real. Mike,
Well,
I-
I'm
you-
waiting. I'm not buying it right now, but it's a better price than it is on the MILB site. So I'm going to.
There
Did you
you
see
go.
that MLB store? Did you see the MILB stores having a sale on logo gear, 20% off? Even with that, it's like, is it really that
It's-
much cheaper?
no,
it's
go
still-
to the,
it's
go to
still
the team
more.
store.
It's still more than the
Yeah.
Iron Pigs.
Yeah, go-
Mike, you let me know though when you have more of the dad hats for the cookies. I still need to get one, so we got to talk.
I think I saw that they put up there that the Iron Pig store put up that they're going to have an exclusive hat for National Hat Day, which
Ooh.
they've been which they've done before. I want to say the purple bacon one is
there
There
it
you
is.
go.
yeah. Look at that.
There
it
Look at that. Look
There
at
it
Mike.
is.
Mike is the king of teasers.
I love it, Mike.
I wouldn't do
I'm
anything
telling
until
you.
Sunday.
If you have, I'm gonna wait until Sunday. But if you have a one for the cookies on Sunday, you best believe you got an order from Ed Rivera going into North Carolina for sure.
And when you mail it, send it to the Cleanup King,
Clean up king,
That's
care
right.
of Ed Rivera.
because it will be taken care of, and a video will be made on that. Just so you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the
So
gray
on.
bacon hat just right before Christmas. One of my favorite logos out there.
Which one?
The bacon, the gray
Yeah.
one, and then I
That's
got
a good
the
one.
cookies with the bright pink and the blue.
Oh man, yeah.
I've got the
Hold on, let me
cookies
see.
too. I got it last year.
I need to get the Mama Juana's. I don't have that hat.
I've been thinking about getting one of those too. I didn't order it with this last order. I got the bell hat and a few others, but
Oh, he stepped away.
Uh-oh.
Am I in charge again?
Yes.
okay, Ed, he's not even listening. So
Oh man. He's going to get his collection
Yes,
of,
guys.
of
Hey, don't read
don't read Mike's recent comment.
don't read Mike's new thing.
Ah! Ah!
He waited till you walked away to put that up there. By the way,
Yes, he did.
See that? I just said.
Yeah, Mike, that's what we call post-traumatic shock.
That's not cool, man. It's okay.
Is it?
I'm gonna hold you up to that, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait till March. I'll wait. But I'm not happy about it.
hey, you just got time to save up more money.
That's right.
True story.
That's
That's correct. This year's National Dad Hat exclusive will be released Sunday at 9 a.m.
Yep.
All of us are gonna be like, all right, let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
What's happening? Praying for all your wallets already for next week. It's gonna be a doozy.
Thank you, Professor Hatter.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
real.
thank you.
Yes, they look great and they're amazing fit. Those are all new Era 920s. So
Yeah.
they have great taste. I mean, I'm telling you. So, all right. So, guys, let's end the show the usual way. I will go around. You guys tell me what you guys are going on with all of your podcasts or what is going on in your lives. I'm going to start with the Chili Man so I can get him out of here. If you say one word about tennis, I swear to goodness gracious, I will remove you.
So if I want to get
What'd you say?
I said, so if I want to get out faster, that's all I got to do.
Yeah, say the word tennis and see what happens.
Well, I don't have any future episodes recorded yet, but I got a few things lined up so that just in case they fall through, I don't want to say exactly what they are. But Up to Chat podcast next one should be next week, not tomorrow, but the week after, next Wednesday.
A little
Great episode. Great episode to start out the year, though, my man.
Thank you,
Eric,
Eric.
that was a
Peanut
great
guy is
episode.
always
yeah, you cannot hate on Eric the Peanut Guy. I mean,
Right.
that guy is a national treasure. It's just how that goes.
right.
It was very enjoyable.
And
Thank
you
you.
see that Gisa Stadium has a 20-year extension, so
I
we'll
did
get
see
20
that.
more years of the Peanut
Yeah.
Guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yep.
I like the way he's wielding his own influence. Sorry, Mr. Influencer, but I like the way he's wielding his own influence in the Tri-Cities to get to keep Gisa Stadium with baseball for the foreseeable future.
I
Yeah,
love
you
it.
guys
I
need
think
to
that's
get up
amazing.
there if you haven't been. Great stadium.
I'm planning on going this season.
I don't
was
know
a
if it's going to be
tremendous
this
host.
season. And for me, it'll probably be a 2025 season, but we'll
Same
see.
here.
I'll definitely have a plan. All right, Eric, talk to me, my friend.
Earn Fun Average podcast. Tomorrow, we're going up to the Pacific Northwest. We got the radio voice of the Everett Aqua Sox, Mr. Pat
Ooh.
Dillon. So we're talking Aqua
Nice.
Sox tomorrow. So tune into
Nice.
the Earn Fun Average with Johnny and I. You'll hear from the Everett Aqua Sox tomorrow.
Love it. Love it. All right. Prospector, what's up?
Well, we're not quite in the Pacific Northwest, but we are going up to Montana, to Kalispell to be specific. Tomorrow's Hat History series drops tomorrow morning. It's going to be on the Glacier Range Riders. So, of the Pioneer League for those that don't know, and got a couple hats to show off. It kind of a pattern of the last few weeks. Maybe not a bunch of hats, but a little bit of history, a little bit of hats, a good mix of it. So hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks for all the support as always.
I love it. Love it. And Mr. Mayor.
Well, I'm headed home tomorrow, so I'll be back in the home studio on Thursday. Meeting up with Kelly and Christina on Friday night. We're going to the Charlotte Checkers Friday night game at the arena, and then we're
The outdoor game.
all going to the outdoor game on
Outdoor game.
Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm
Nice.
looking forward to seeing 2 nights
Awesome.
of hockey, and especially outdoors at the Charlotte Knights Stadium. So it's gonna be a cool
That should-
weekend, hanging out with
Is
those
that
guys.
Is that before or after your fundraiser dinner for your next campaign?
Oh, well, the
It's in
fundraiser
between.
dinners, yeah. It's sort of like, that's the Friday night after the hockey game, all
Okay.
the champagne and
Because
stuff.
I heard you one in Ohio went really well. So,
Exactly.
All right. As far as the Dad Hat Chronicles, obviously Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we will be here. We will be making our picks. We're talking about what's going on. We'll talk a little bit of baseball, right? We're getting closer to February, boys. We're there. We're almost there. Baseball season is almost around the corner. This week, Jason Michael Ford, architect. This one was a lot of fun. He got a lot of information, gave us a lot of information when it comes to what they do, what they look at when it comes to designing ballparks. So that was a fun interview.
Yeah, and I just want to say, so listening to that, so I've been to Petco Park and then obviously in Kannapolis as well. Great ballpark, so he does great work.
They really do. They really do. And he's a huge Padres fan. But I'm also doing the Dad Hat Chronicles on YouTube. So make sure you guys are catching my daily videos that I'm putting together. I called out a couple teams on this certain video. Chili Man, take a look at it. You'll really like that video. I promise you. And then I want to, there goes the pen.
Oh, what a way to go!
There's a
What
few
a
that
way to
survived.
go!
What
first
a
round.
way of ending
What
the
a way to
show,
end this
dude.
thing. We're nothing on this show.
Is that
not
all of it,
professional.
Mike? Is that the rest of them?
Listen,
That is all of them now. They all
Listen,
died now.
Mike has been like, oh, I want to be. Why can't you put me on the promo? Why can't you be putting him in the promo? This is why. Look at what you just did to this show. This show just went downhill now. Like no one's gonna watch this now.
Well, you went over the time slot. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't blame me for what happens after
We've
the
been
time slot.
going over the time slot for the past few weeks, homie. So
Yeah, I was gonna say we've had a show go almost 2 hours, so this is
I know,
nothing.
right?
I know. This is we're nothing on this show if not professional. I mean,
we are.
poor Eric Lichtenberg has taken a few years off of his life because
Eric just screamed right there, like, "Oh
Another
my god!"
disturbance in the force.
yeah.
And then also want to extend an invitation to Mike. If he wants to come on the podcast, we'll talk, man. I'm telling you, because I love that Iron Picks brand. So I'll shoot my shot here. Mike, you're officially invited to come on the podcast, my friend. Guys, thank you so much for doing this again. Thursday, we'll have Lynn. We will be here. I think the falling sounds a bit.
Yeah.
Don't.
How's that sound on the big screen?
Yeah, right.
That's what we all want to know.
The surround sound.
I was going to say, does that have surround sound? Is that Dolby 5.1 surround sound?
I'll make sure and restack them in time for next one so that we can do this again.
He's gonna have a string ready to go. He's just gonna pull it at a certain time just to see what happens. It's Starling.
Wait, we have the here. I can make fun of, and I'm sorry for this, Mike, but that sound was like the sound of the Jaguars and Colts playoff chances dwindling.
Oh,
I'll accept it from you because you included the Colts, but
that just came out of nowhere.
I included the Colts. I was fair. I can't talk trash when my team didn't make the playoffs, so I said both of them. So,
all right, boys. Well, hey, again, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Please, guys, make sure you go support the minor leagues. All right, now. Bye.
see you guys.
Bye.